Good evening. And thank you very much for coming to this section this evening. The first thing I want to say to you as Good Samaritan people is thank you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your support to the Baiwalla Ministries. I'm going to be giving you updates on this ministry tonight, and everything you see that is happening is because of your support and a host of other people and groups of people who are supporting the Baiwalla Ministries. So we say thank you very much. Baiwalla Ministries. These are the components of the ministry: schools, primary, secondary, and senior secondary, school feeding, agriculture, ICT, computers, home economics, and church. Church comes last on this list, but it was actually the first that we started, because I got to Baiwalla and the very next day we had church in my mother's living room, and that's the church we have up to now. Let me give you a very brief background to this whole ministry. It goes way back when I was a 14-year girl in a mission boarding school, all-girls boarding school. And in that school, wonderful things started to happen to me in my life. I was now having 3 meals a day. I was going to school regularly. I had shoes on my feet. I went to church. When I was sick, people took care of me, and so I was so blown away that all these wonderful things were happening to me. And I started in my dormitory bed. Now I had a bed of my own in a clean dormitory. And so at night, I wondered who would leave the comfort of their homes and come to that place and took so much wonderful care about us. So all of this that you'll be seeing today as I speak to you, basically is all about freely you have received, freely give. It's about making the world a better place, one person at a time. And of course, it's about the Great Commission. So in that mission boarding school, when I started to wonder, and these were missionaries that came from all over the world, from America, England, Hawaii, and even India. And so I started to answer my own questions. And I said, I think they are doing this because of that God they tell us about in church and Sunday school. Well, I too want to know that God, and I too want to serve that God. And so I said a prayer one night in my bed, and I said, please God, make it possible for me so that one day I too can feed hungry children, that I too can make education possible for other people, that I too will lead people to Christ and care for them when they are sick. And that prayer took root in my heart. I really wanted to do that. I had no idea, I didn't plan my life to come to America, but I came because there was war in our country. And I had started theological studies before I came to America, and my plan was to continue with that. But when I was in America, I made whoever I met, I shared my dream with them. I really want to go back home and do so and so and so. So it took 50 years after I said that prayer. Sometimes I wondered whether this was God's plan for me, but I didn't let it go. When God's time came, God put people in my path to help me accomplish this dream. People like Richard Ormsby, who believed my story and wanted to help me accomplish it. And that's why we call the school after him, Richard Ormsby, in appreciation of the help that he gave to me and the help that he gave towards this whole ministry becoming a reality. I will walk you through some pictures now. This is the middle school. It was the first thing that we built. I went home with no money, but Mr. Ormsby kept introducing me to donors until we got to OC Ministries. And at that time, the chairman was Linda Zabel. And he made support for the school his priority. These are, yes?
I just wanted to say that Richard Ormsby is a Minnesotan, he's a reverend in Pine City?
Pine Island.
Pine Island.
He was my district superintendent. Yeah.
Retired.
Okay, so children of the school, this day we took this picture when they were just waving to all the donors and saying thank you. Before this school came around, parents would send their children to other towns to live with friends or relatives to continue school. With this school now, children from neighboring villages and towns walk to come to this school. This picture shows some of the children walking to school. And on the right-hand side, you can see the primary school children too. Every morning, we have devotions in front of the school before classes start. And the gentleman there is now the principal of the junior secondary school, and he's a wonderful guy. School feeding is a very big part of our ministry. Like I said, children walk 2 miles, 2.5 miles to come to the school. If you have to get up early in the morning and be at school at 8 o'clock, I don't think you are talking about breakfast. And most times people just eat leftovers for breakfast. So we are the only school that can afford to do school feeding. The government has a school feeding program, but not enough funds to support it. But with your support, we can do that. These are members of the school feeding team, cooking the meal. When we started, we didn't have any kitchen, so cooking was done outside. Members of the school feeding team preparing cassava that day. When we started, we were cooking rice every day. Rice is our staple food, and it is what everybody wants to eat. But the price of rice tripled, and we started to substitute with cassava. So the team you see in the picture is preparing cassava.
But cassava is not as nutritious as rice, right?
No.
And it's a root vegetable.
It's a root vegetable and it's full of carbohydrates. Makes you feel full. Well, this is our new indoor kitchen. We still use firewood, but at least it has a chimney and the smoke can go out, and they have indoor pump, water pump too. A picture of the women preparing vegetables for that day's meal. our indoor kitchen. Every member of the school feeding team has her own class. So when food is prepared, you take your own large bowl to your own class and you distribute the food into bowls like this. So the children file out from their classrooms, pick up a bowl, go back into the classroom and sit there and eat. So that's what these two ladies are doing, serving the meal. And these are children in their classroom eating their meal. More children eating their midday meal. We serve the food about 9:15 to 9:30. The school feeding team comes in the morning at 7 o'clock and they finish cooking by 9 o'clock. We are thinking about these children who have walked, so we don't wait until lunchtime to serve the meal. We serve the meal at about 9:15 to 9:30. Agriculture. These are two children watering their nursery plants. Agriculture is a very big pillar to our school because agriculture is what will help our country out of poverty. So we teach new and improved farming methods in the classroom and then take that method outside and practice it. Our hope is that the children will take those new and improved farming methods to their families. From the nursery to the school garden, the peppers and eggplants are now being transplanted in the school garden. Some more school garden. Two years back, we did rice farming also. This is rice farm ready for the harvest. We got the parents to volunteer labor, and we only had to cook for them when they were working. We didn't do rice farming this past year because I figured out that what we put into the job was almost what we got out of it. So it was not very much worthy for me to repeat it. This is processing the rice. We put the rice through that machine to take the rice seed from the stalks. And then the school feeding team, they winnow the rice, blow out the husk before we put into the machine that cleans the rice for us. The school has 20 acres of oil palm plantation. Oil palms are planted 30 feet apart. So we make use of the land in between those trees by planting cassava and potatoes. The sad thing is, during the dry season, people let their goats out to go and find food, and they came into our plantation and ate our cassavas and potatoes. As you can see, this land is kind of swampy area, so we want to plant bananas and plantains on our land and kind of use up all of our land. So that's what we are doing now. These are the plantain and banana suckers, and we have already planted 300 trees. And this is our oil palm plantation itself. It's 20 acres. These are the oil palm seeds. These are what we harvest. Boil, crush, and boil again so that the oil floats on top, and then we scoop the oil. And this is what we use for cooking. This is oil that has been processed. Each of these containers are 20 liters. So now we have enough palm oil for cooking for the children. Last year, we also started piggery and started rearing goats also. This is our computer lab. I think we are the only school that has this kind of setup. Computers donated by an individual and a church. We have 30 of them. So, as you know, we now live in a computer world, so the children can be exposed and learn basic computer at least. Not only the children, but the teachers and other members of the community make use of the computer lab. Last year, we got a new science building. This is inside of our science lab. And so, as from last year, children can come into this lab and do chemistry, physics, biology practicals. Volleyball. Time for sports. We have 4 houses named after local authorities. It's blue, green, white, and red. This building is our canteen and our store. As you can see in the canteen, teachers and other members of the community can come there and have a cold drink. It's a way of raising funds for ourselves too. There used to be teachers we run to the town to get food in the morning, and sometimes they can be late for their classes. So we asked a lady to cook food and bring over to the school. By the side of the canteen, we made a small room, and so this lady brings the food, and the teachers go there and buy. So you can see teachers eating a meal in the morning. And you can see the lady actually serving the food. We named our library after our faithful, committed fundraiser, who is also the coordinator of our ministry. Reading is a new phenomenon to us and to the children, but you and I know how important reading is in the process of education. So now we are introducing the children to using the library and renting books, take them home and just read books.
Hold it. That's Francis, the librarian on your left.
This guy here.
Signing out those books.
Yes. Joanne trained him to be a librarian, and he's our librarian now. Another person that was very instrumental in this whole ministry, especially at the beginning, was Linda Zabel, so we recognized him and named our multi-purpose hall after him. It's a multi-purpose hall, all kinds of gatherings. We've even had a couple of weddings done in that place. And this is where we keep church service also. This is a typical church service going on in the Linde Zebe Hall. Adult baptism. The Richard Ormsby Primary School. My focus was junior secondary school, but then we realized that the children coming into our school were nowhere prepared for secondary school work. So eventually we got our own primary school so that we can prepare them better for secondary school work. At the end of every semester and at the end of the school year, we distribute report cards that show parents how your child has done academically and otherwise. But parents have to come and receive the cards on behalf of their children. When you give a report card to a child, he or she opens it and realizes she didn't make it to the other class. She may not be excited about taking it to the parents. So if a parent doesn't come, we don't give out the report cards to the children. So this is what is happening in this picture. And this is our home economics lab, which we are ready to furnish and start running. Right now, it's just there. We will watch part of the opening ceremony of the school in 2019, and we can stop anytime for people to ask questions.
let's talk money. The budget for the school is now at $200,000 a year. So that means we have to get a lot of support from a lot of different people. One of the things that has been changed is that in the previous 6 years, as we were building the various things in the school, we asked people to donate, and churches, not just individuals, churches, to donate things like the solar power, the science lab, and the home ec lab, or support the farm. But now we have found that we have to do it differently. Last year, for example, we had enough, quite a large sum of money in the budget for farm, but we really needed to upgrade the internet in the school, but there was no money in an account for the internet. But we couldn't use the farm money because it was designated. And the US laws about money say that you can't just use it unless it is unrestricted. So that's why I'm explaining this to you, even though it's much more appealing to people to sponsor a kid and you imagine a child going to school or a teacher or whatever. We describe the need for money in terms of that, but we really need to have it unrestricted. Does that make sense to you? So anyway, the cost of sending a kid to school is $350 plus $150 for lunch. Of course, any amount of donation is gladly accepted. But think about it. Think what a donation to sponsor a kid to go to school means to that child. Think about what it means to have your family transformed because now you have an education. Think about what it means. How many of you were the first people in your families to go to college? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not me. I have fortunate to come from a family where both of my parents are college educated. But my father was the first one to go to college, and his life was transformed forever. That's what it means when you sponsor a kid to go to school. Do you have questions about things you saw in the PowerPoint that you would like to ask?
Is the school open to all the children in the community, or how are the children chosen that go to school?
The government now in power wants every child to go to school. Before, it's you have to, if a family has boys and girls in the family, they will have to decide who goes to school according to who they are able to sponsor to go to school. And most times it was the boys that went to school and not the girls. That has changed now. Every child is supposed to go to school. That's the government initiative.
There wasn't a lot of emphasis in the past on girls going to school. Girls often dropped out or quit school at the end of 6th grade. A few would go on. So maybe you didn't notice, there's only two female teachers in the whole school. And the reason for that is because the way it was in the past. And the other thing, you've always given the answer about women not being able to move to Baiwalla.
Yeah, getting female teachers to come to the school in Baiwalla is difficult. Baiwalla is off the road, So all our teachers are coming from other towns. So it's easier for men to leave their wives in charge of the children and come and work in another place than it is for a mother to leave children and move away. So our home economics teacher came last year, and her husband, who's also a teacher, has moved to teach in our schools so that they can be together. They have a 2-year-old child.
Yeah, which brings up a really big issue, and that is teachers' housing. Baiwalla, there's absolutely no rental property or apartments in Baiwalla. So what Judith has done is put teachers in rooms in houses. She happens to be fortunate enough to have her father's house, her mother's house, and another house that you own, a mission house. So the teachers, that's where they are. But boy, the really big need is to have somebody donate money to build teachers' housing. But the catch of that is the highest priority is tuition to send kids to school. So, you know, we have to, OC Ministries has to make the absolute priority to send kids to school. The other thing would be if there was somebody that would be willing, or several people would be willing to donate the money to build the teachers' housing.
We have converted our bakery and store, any structure we have had before, are now converted into rooms for teachers. And we still need rooms for teachers.
I have another question. And if anybody else has one, raise your hand and I'll get you the microphone. My question is, do all the children that come to the school live in nearby, or are there children that have to board, that have to stay over, you know, stay with a family or something like that, just to be able to attend the school?
Most of the children walk to school, 2 miles, 2.5 miles, 3 miles. There's a village that is 7 miles away, and the parents of that village have succeeded in getting places in Baiwalla for their children to stay during the week and go home over the weekend. But the others that are 3, 2.5, and 2 miles, children walk to school every morning.
Well, Judith has 2 children living with her, too, that I
Yes.
don't know how far away their parents live. Do they live very far away?
One of them, the parents live very far away. People who have sent their children away to go to school in other towns went and got them and brought them back. Because now we have a good school in the area. Our school has really become an icon. The government education representative points to our school as the best school in the whole district and beyond. And that's because we can pay teachers well because of the support we get from here. And so we choose teachers who have degrees or have higher teachers' certificate to teach in our school. And that's why all the national exams our children have taken, they have taken 4 now, 3 in the middle school, they have passed 100% and with very good aggregates. So it's not just because we have a beautiful building, it's what we are producing from that school that has made us a model school and an icon in the area.
When they're talking about teachers' housing, the housing that they do have is usually a room. So if they have a wife and a child, they're all in one room. That's all they get, because that's all.
Or not.
If we get to build teachers' housing, it will be better than that. Right now, we are just managing and surviving.
If they build housing, they would have room for families.
Yes.
And if the families come, then the teachers will stay. Otherwise, they might not stay.
Here.
So those exams that they take, are those government exams, or is it the exams that you as a school have created so these children can pass to the next level?
Yes, we have school exams that we administer at the end of every semester. But in between, we prepare them for that. But then there are national exams that all the schools in the country take in the middle of middle school. And that is what qualifies them to go to senior secondary school.
Okay.
That is a national exam, and our children have taken it 3 times and have all passed and with good aggregate. Last year, for the first time, senior secondary school children in our school took the West African exam, and if you pass this exam, that's what qualifies you to go to college. So we are waiting for the results on that.
Unfortunately, they don't find out until a couple months after the exam has been taken, and we don't really even know now. But you are pretty sure the kids will all pass, but you don't know for sure. I wanted to say something about one of the things we're hoping the school will do will be able to make a little money on their little businesses. You saw that there is a canteen and a little restaurant and of course the farm. And we're hoping in due time that those small businesses will not only provide training opportunities for the kids, but bring in some money to support the school so it isn't just everything coming from one place.
I guess I have a lot of questions tonight.
That's good.
I thought the computer lab was really amazing and very progressive, and the fact that community members can come in and use it also, I thought that was really great. And I just wondered how the computer lab came to be.
It came to be from a grant from Messiah United Methodist Church and an individual family put together. And those are not individual computers. They are workstations that are hooked up to, I don't know the right term. Server. Yeah, to servers. There's 2 servers that manage the whole lab. And, you know, I don't know if the internet is better, but when I was there last September, I could see that it was really frustrating because the only place you could use, you know, a computer was in the lab. The other thing we've been trying to do is to give every teacher a laptop computer. And if any of you have access to used laptop refurbished computers, that would be really helpful to let me know.
I would like you all to know that our foundation gave a $3,000. Is this on?
Yes.
Gave a $3,000 grant to the science lab several years ago, and then this past year gave a $3,000 grant for the things for the home ec room, and it would be things like stoves and refrigerators and, you know, the real basics. You saw there's tables. That's it. Tables and counters, and that's it.
Why don't you tell a little bit about what you purchased? Because we divided it up. I mean, we knew we could get things much less expensive. Some things. There are other things that absolutely had to be bought. And since she's here, she can take them back.
Right. Well, we actually had donated silverware. That we got enough silverware for all the girls in the lab at one time, just donated, so we didn't even have to buy silverware. I bought a lot of utensils, spatulas, rubber spatulas, spoons, sieves and strainers, you know, just all the stuff that you have in your utensil drawer. That's the kind of stuff we bought at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 each. So we got a lot for our money. pitchers, trivets, knives.
Knives are
um,
really a thing that, that are much better quality here.
How is that going to get through customs?
It'll be sent through,
Oh,
if it's, the problem is if you carry it on.
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
You carry it on, the knives?
What?
I don't,
I'm going to take
No, we are going to put these things into barrels and ship them. That's how we do all the time.
Anyway, we were able to get a really lot of stuff, and one of them I thought an interesting thing is we bought thermometers for each group, food thermometers, digital, fast reading thermometers, and you know, if you are making meat or cooking things and you don't have it up to the right temperature, that's when you get sick. And so they're going to learn how to use one. But will they be able to afford one in their own home? Maybe not. But they were only $10 a piece. But that to them is a lot of money. When the average income is $2 a day, actually maybe even less than $2 a day.
Pat,
I'd just like to say something about our gowns that Joanne and I are wearing. They were gifts from Judith. She had them made for us, and the tailor brought them in the morning one day, and then he came and he was there, and we put them on, and he measured to see exactly where he needed to hem them, you know, and have them fit. So they're very special to us. So thank you again.
And we also got a skirt.
Oh, yes, 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 and a skirt out of different material, yes.
what else would you like to know? Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.